Let's see, what am I missing here? Oh yeah. Hat, check. Sunglasses, check. Pepsi, check. Notes, check. Sources, check. And thick skin, check. Let's go. Welcome back to Going to Blue Dude, everybody, and all we do here is college football. So if you're a college football fan, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. And as always, feel free to send gear to represent you and your team. Look around. That's what my background is made of. So if you want to be a permanent part of Going to Blue Dude and my background, send gear to represent yourself and your team to P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. Well, it's all over the internet. It's all over the internet. Matt Rhule has been fired from the Carolina Panthers. That experiment in the NFL failed miserably. Now he's a big-time hot name in college football. Who could pick up Matt Rhule? Well, one team that pops into my... Well, I'm a fan of them. That's why they pop in my mind. West Virginia. Should West Virginia take a chance on Matt Rhule? Let's face facts. Neal Brown is not cutting the mustard at West Virginia. It's just not happening. And I've tried to give him the benefit of the doubt over and over and over and over. But hey, it's year 4... and we're 2-3 with losses at Pitt, Kansas, and an abysmal loss at Texas. Come on. It's time to move on. I mean, maybe give him till the rest of the year so we save a little bit of money. Maybe perhaps he can change my mind and finish the season like 7-5, 8-4. I don't know. That's a very, very long shot. But if we finish 6-6 or worse, it's time to move on. So people are talking about Matt Rhule to West Virginia. Well, let's see here. I'm going to go through the pros and the cons of Matt Rhule coming to West Virginia. First, the pros. Well, he does have experience in the Big 12. He coached Baylor for 3 years, brought them out of the basement into prominence, and his last year went 11-3. So yes, he knows the Big 12 very well and knows how to have success in the Big 12. Okay? Knows how to rebuild a mid-tier program. Now, he was 19-20 overall at Baylor, but Baylor was very, very bad when he got there. And he brought them to prominence in year 3. Year 3. So he rebuilds quickly. That's what West Virginia needs right now. We don't need a slow 10-year process. We need to rebuild immediately. So yes, Matt Rhule would check the box on that category. Now, finally, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier, rapid success. Not just success, but rapid success. He rebuilt Baylor in 3 years. Like I said earlier, that's exactly what West Virginia needs. What about the cons? Yes, there are cons. Well, he has been away from college football for 3 years. Now, that didn't matter for Nick Saban, but Matt Rhule is not Nick Saban, at least not that we know of, unless there's something I don't know about. Anyways, he's been away from college football for 3 years. Maybe he's a little bit rusty. I don't know. Another con is, can he bounce back from the failure of the NFL? Remember, sometimes people are on cloud 9, and then when they fail, they never recover. I mean, just look at college football teams. Miami, before the Texas A&M game, they were on cloud 9, talking about a 10-win season, possibly going undefeated. Then they got beat by Texas A&M, and they haven't recovered. So that does happen. There is a risk that Matt Rhule might not recover from his failure in the NFL. Here's a big con, and it's a big risk. A risk of him bouncing for a bigger job if he does start having success at West Virginia. Do you remember Rich Rod at West Virginia? Although people don't realize the entire story when it comes to Rich Rod. It wasn't just because of the Michigan money. It was because West Virginia refused to give Rich Rod's assistants a raise for him to keep his coaches at West Virginia. That's why he bounced to Michigan. But still, he left for bigger money at Michigan. Matt Rhule could do the same thing. What if he comes into West Virginia and he does rebuild West Virginia? We're on cloud 9, but the bigger names come a-calling and he bounces to that bigger name. Then all of a sudden, West Virginia's back to square one and we have to rebuild again. That's one thing West Virginia has to figure out. Are we committed to our football program? If we are, we need to start putting in the money to keep coaches if they do start having success. We can't be satisfied with being a mid-tier program. Hopefully we get the right coach and keep the right coach. Listen, there's not many Don Nealons around, okay? We're not going to keep a great head coach for 20 years now. There are bigger names that are going to come a-calling, and people aren't as loyal as what they used to be. That's a major risk of bringing in Matt Rhule. I mean, he did it to Baylor. Who's to say he wouldn't do it to West Virginia, right? So there's some pretty good pros, but there's also a lot of cons, and I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure if he's worth the risk. And even if he did rebuild West Virginia in rapid fashion, would he stay at West Virginia? Because if he rebuilds and we do get up to cloud 9 and then he leaves, then we're back to square one. I'm really torn on this one. So y'all let me know in the comments section, do you think West Virginia should try to get Matt Rhule? And if somehow, some way they were able to get Matt Rhule and he does have success at West Virginia, would West Virginia be able to keep Matt Rhule? That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.